This week's housekeeping, we have some updates for you. We try to keep everyone updated on what's causing heart problems and irregular heartbeats these days. Now, women under 50 are getting more heart attacks than usual.
It's a wide range, too.
It's a very wide range. What does that headline say?
It says women under 50 are becoming increasingly more, or heart attacks are becoming increasingly more common in women under 50, and medical experts can't figure out how.
Can't figure out how. Why is this happening? Nobody knows. I also saw an article that said teens are getting irregular heartbeats from air pollution. That's something to be very concerned about. We actually saw an ad play the other day, which is weird because I'd never seen this growing up. There was an ad that played about kids getting myocarditis.
Yeah.
I've never seen this before, but let that rip.
I've been into fashion since I can remember. But one day I had a stomachache so bad I didn't want to do anything. The team at New York Presbyterian said it was actually my heart. It was severely swollen. Something called myocarditis. But doctors gave me medicines and used machines to control my heartbeat. They saved me. So now I can become the next great fashion designer.
Wow. So kids are getting myocarditis. There's now ads on TV for kids with myocarditis problems. Who knows where that could come from? I've never seen an ad for a myocarditis awareness in my whole life. But I guess it's probably the climate change and the air pollution.
It has to be. And the funny part is it makes a big scene of it at the end of that commercial. Doctor saved me. Yeah. And it's like, what did the doctors do before that?
Yeah, they saved you, but they also
held you down and
made you do something maybe you shouldn't have done.
But meanwhile, if you mention the word vaccine, there's still a big banner that comes across your social media stuff. And But, myocarditis for kids, it's just...
Their hearts are enlarging, and it's the air pollution. They breathe it in, sucks their heart out. Moving on. We're still in housekeeping. We have very important housekeeping. We have a great episode today. A lot of great topics. People are saying inherently too much.
Yeah.
The term inherently. Trying to sound smart. A lot of people like debating like ideas and like politics and all that stuff. It comes up a lot, but the word inherently, I think, is being used too much as a crux for people who are trying to sound smart and aren't that smart. So if you say inherently a lot, I would knock it off. Also on the chopping block, I think we've even mentioned this before, in that regard.
Okay.
I'm hearing in that regard too much. It's like some filler language that people who try to sound smart are saying. So if you're saying inherently or in that regard, you're not that smart. I caught you.
The only time I say inherently is when something's inherently dangerous.
Yeah.
That's kind of the go-to phrase.
Yeah.
So that one's excluded.
Other than that, it's not allowed.
Yeah.
A lot of people are commenting on the last episode about my beard. I'm getting a lot of DMs. What am I going to do with it? People are asking. To be honest, I've never had the beard this long. I'm going to let it keep going because I want to see what happens next.
He has no plan, is
I have
basically
no plan.
the gist of that.
I have no plan, and I packed my clippers for the move to New Orleans, and I only packed the one, it's like a 1 inch or whatever it's called, and that's for buzzing my head. So I don't have any real options. I'm not going to go to a place to have them trim it. So we're going to just let it keep going, and whatever happens, happens.
If you went to a place to trim it, you'd come back with like the straightest edges ever. It'd be like a DJ Khaled scenario. So
Yeah,
I'm glad you're not
so
doing
bad.
that.
Yeah.
But I think you do need to do some trimming, some light trimming.
Yeah, some light trimming maybe. It's going a little wider than I like, but I've never had it this long. I don't know what's going to happen next. Look at this.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
Isn't that crazy? A lot of beard here. I've never had this much beard. I'm excited to see what happens next. At a certain point, it just starts to layering and just like rolls down like Ian Smith Fitness.
ZZ Top, Ian Smith Fitness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. I'm excited to see. We'll see what happens. Next, this is actually
We'll see what happens in that regard.
Yeah. Inherently,
My beard is inherently big.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Next, this is a very important thing. I was attacked at an event I did at a college campus a few days ago.
Yeah.
I was in the classroom. I was showing them memes that I made. Mm-hmm. And then someone came in, a lunatic, and he smashed the projector and almost, it was aggressive.
Caused a scene.
Caused a huge scene. The man got arrested, thank God. But I was attacked. Here it is happening right here. You see me there. I'm drinking the water.
Showing your Kamala meme.
Yep. Here's me. I'm drinking water. I'm playing the meme I made. and then some crazy guy comes in and kicks over my set. And all I was trying to do was show these college kids the memes I made.
You're on a meme tour, right?
I'm on a meme tour right now. So that was very dangerous. If you're in audio only, you got to go to the video. You have to go to the video this week.
The bit's not going to get explained any further.
Yeah, exactly. The bit will not be explained any further. Next. Now we live in New Orleans now, so we're very aware of our situation. We've always been hyper aware. A few episodes ago, we talked about STP, which is slit throat patrol, which is what we say to each other if someone's coming who looks sketchy. Mm-hmm. So if me and Richard Rapway are hanging out in the subway and there's like a guy coming who might push you on the tracks, you go STP, STP, and you kind of look around and make sure you're aware of your surroundings. Mm-hmm. There was a situation in this video. What we have here now, what we call the kill box.
Because we're driving more. We're not on the subway or anything. We walk around definitely a bunch, but it's more driving. And the kill box rule is you never pull all the way up to the car in front of you. You got to keep your eyes to the side and make sure you have a route to escape.
Exactly.
Right?
We have to basically assume that we're going to get car mugged, jumped,
Yeah.
groups of people coming to attack us.
We're going to get driven into a kill box and then just lit up. So
yeah,
we always need an out.
We're avoiding that. We're avoiding the kill box. Here is a video of someone who almost got robbed or mugged or carjacked or killed, but they avoided the kill box. Check this out.
So car stops in front of them. Some black hooded people try to get out, and it's all cinder blocks.
And then they just, bam, you're out of there. They're not getting kill boxed.
Yeah.
We had this funny idea that I was like, imagine those people pulled over and we're like, we need help and we have a flat tire.
They
And
really
it's like,
had an emergency. Our pregnant wife's in the back.
yeah, help us. And then, nope, I'm not getting kill boxed. And then you just run through them and knock their door off.
Now your door's gone.
Yeah. We're still in housekeeping. It's a very important housekeeping. Dash Dabrowski, our boy,
Yeah.
continues to spiral. Mm-hmm. Check out this tweet he did recently.
All right, so it says, Trump is returning to Mar-a-Lago, the place where he unlawfully kept nuclear documents hidden from the FBI/DOJ. This is no different than Jeffrey Dahmer being allowed to return to his apartment where he kept rotting human corpses and skulls stuffed in formaldehyde-filled drums.
It's the exact same thing. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Dahmer, same guy, same type of offense. It's no different. Trump going back to Mar-a-Lago after committing no crimes and doing nothing. It's the same as Jeffrey Dahmer going back to where he kept all the dead bodies.
So I know that Dash doesn't really believe this stuff, but he must have fun coming up with the most absurd stuff he can possibly say, right?
Yeah.
It's like an exercise for him. Like, oh boy, how can I do this to the next level?
Yeah, absolutely. He's spiraling. You go through his content too, especially on Instagram, and you go through the comments. Mm-hmm. And it's just all of our followers, all of the podcast listeners being like, oh, you got him this time, Dash. Or like, oh, boy. Like, they're just making fun of him. Like, 1 out of 10 is maybe like, good job, Dash. Good comparison. I hope they get Trump. Like, he has no real followers.
Yeah. And I think and those are like, when you see the NPC memes with the, stick figure face, like that's who's in Dash's comments, who's supportive. I had the top comment on one of his posts, and like the half of the other comments, like the leftist comments on it, are like, come on, Dash, like tone it down, like you're not helping. It's basically like one of those things where they're trying to guide him into being more helpful, but I hope he doesn't change at all.
Yeah, me neither. I love what Dash is doing. And it's funny too, because what Dash is doing, it's like if you're on the left and you're not informed on politics, you're not even paying attention to anything. So you don't care.
Yeah.
You listen to LeBron James, you listen to Taylor Swift, you kind of just like go with the flow, coast through it, autopilot. I'm not voting for Trump because he's racist, right?
Yeah, generic, like sounds about right,
So it's like that. Those people, they're leftist and on the left because they don't follow politics and they don't know enough about it, and they just assume it's good versus bad, and they're the good guys.
It's factory default settings with what the media is telling you, right?
Exactly. So they're just going with that. But it's like if you're an informed leftist, which is like weird because you have to like know about what it's going on, and then like it's like the more you know, the less likely you are to be a leftist. Mm-hmm. So if you do know like the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago was like not that great, as a left-leaning person, you shouldn't be like cheering that and championing that. You should be like, ugh, it's kind of abuse of power. It doesn't look good before an election.
It wasn't a marquee event. Like,
yeah, like you didn't get him for anything right before an election. You'd kind of be like, eh. So it's weird because Dash has this thing where he'll never have like a real audience, because if his audience was informed and paying attention to politics, they would be more right leaning or more fair and normal. So all you can have is like the people who are asleep, but the people who are asleep aren't following political Instagrams.
Yeah.
So he's like in this tough spot where all he can do is just be like a caricature Muppet for people on the right to make fun of,
Yeah.
which I love. That's why we use him.
People have been telling us to make Dash merch as well, like stickers, like, oh boy, like with one of his most manic faces. So, I mean, we might have to.
He might be an AI made up person who's not even real.
That's true. That's true.
That's
no
true.
argument here.
That's true. All right. Last piece of housekeeping. This is an abbreviated housekeeping because we have so many important things to get to. Last piece of housekeeping. You know how Native Americans back in the day used to say they didn't want to take photos because they thought it would steal your soul?
Yeah.
And everyone hears that and they go like, it's kind of like a dumb way to look at it. It's not true.
Yeah.
I think it's true.
Okay.
Like if you're in front of a camera, and similar to like last time we talked about the Mets game and people taking videos instead of enjoying the game, and they're giving their human experience away to AI, and they're like feeding the AI their human experience.
Of course.
I think it's basically that. And the Native Americans were right. And it's like the more you're in front of a camera, the less authentic you are. And the less authentic you are, it's like you're putting on like this thing and this contrived thing. And then that is kind of like a soul stealing thing, especially video. Mm-hmm. So it's like we do a show once a week. And I think it's to slow burn the sucking of our souls.
Okay, fair.
And if you work,
you know what the biggest example is? I feel like Stephen Colbert or like late night hosts.
Yeah,
they're just down. They're like their energy is sucked, and they're just like keep cashing the $10 million
exactly.
checks.
Stephen Colbert 5 days a week goes in front of the camera, lies, puts on this whole show, pretends, deceives, misleads like millions of people.
Yeah,
and then it's like you tell me it doesn't affect your soul. And so if you work for a corporation, especially. They'll just be like, oh, sign a contract, cool. You're doing a show 5 days a week. And it's like, they're not looking out for your soul. They're looking out for the money.
They're not looking up for that mental health and all that.
They want to wring you dry. So basically, the more you're in front of camera, the more susceptible you are to getting your soul sucked and losing your soul. And if you work for a company, they'll be like, hey, 5 days a week, your soul's gone. If you're like us and you're smart and you're aware of it, you do one a week and we slowly give our soul away.
But then, I mean, that it applies to like Tucker Carlson too. Then your theory, it applies to your favorite guy.
Yeah, but I think the soul goes slower if you're telling the truth.
What he got out of it?
Got out of it. He almost pinned me down,
Fully
but I
fair.
got out of it. The soul goes away slower if you're telling the truth. If you're telling lies, zapped up.
I don't generally feel soul sucked being on this podcast and stuff like that, but there definitely is like I'm not looking to go talk and make friends after this. I'm like done for the day. You know, obviously.
Me too. The day of and the day after, I'm pretty much sucked out.
Yeah.
Which is just what it is.
Yeah.
I do
It
it
takes
for
energy.
you guys. Yeah, I do it for you guys. I hope you're buying the underwear and the Brave books or whatever.